Hi teachers, it's Dawn Anderson, and in this video I wanted to show you guys how to grade all the different sorts of things that we have in the 7th and 8th grade science shells. I did not actually submit assignments inside the 7th and 8th grade shells because I didn't want to mess anything up inside those shells. So what I did instead is I have a sample Canvas shell. I created sample assignments, and as a student I went in and answered those so you could see what they look like. When you go to your dashboard, you will have a to-do list over here on your right-hand side, and you also have that same to-do list when you're on the home screen. So it looks like this. This is the number of entries I have to grade. So since I only have one sample student, I only have one of these, but you could see 30 or 40 submissions sometimes. And you can see here that I'm grading a sample quiz, a simple text box, a simple file upload, and then a sample discussion. So let's start with the quiz. If you just click on it, it takes you straight to SpeedGrader. And you can see in here, this is the quiz that the student had. They got the first question wrong. They got the second question right. The third question is an essay question, so you need to read it and actually put in points. And then here they got a 2 out of 3. Over here on grades, they got a 2 out of 3. If you have students that you want to give more points to, you can give them more points right here and click update, and it will change it over here. So this is an accommodation that you can use. If your test is all things like multiple choice, fill in the blank, matching, then Canvas will do all the grading for you, and you don't even have to look at these. The only reason we're looking at this one is because it also has an essay question. If I click on this, it takes me back to my grades, and I can look at how that affects my test students' grades. If I go back to the home screen, that takes me back to the to-do list. Notice there's only 3 things for me to do now. So if I go to simple text box, it takes me back to SpeedGrader, and it says this is a student submission, blah, blah, blah. So out of that, I would give the student a certain number of points. I could write down comments. The grades and the comments show up on the student's dashboard so they can immediately see what their teachers gave them for feedback. Again, here's what it looks like. These icons mean that there are things to be graded, and we know about that because on our homepage, we still have these 2 things to grade. So this is a file upload. So this is if you're having a kid submit something that is a Google Doc, or maybe in this case you had them submit a picture that reminds them of science. You could write comments here. The check mark means that it's graded. If this were a real class, I could click on this and it would bring me up a list of my students. So now you can see the student just has one more thing to grade. Typically, you would grade all of the same assignments at the same time for all of your students. So you would do all of the quizzes at one time, or you would do all of the sample text boxes at one time, or you would do all of the discussions. Normally, you don't click back and forth, back and forth. So what's nice about the discussion is if you're having a student write a post and then respond to somebody else, no matter where that student wrote inside the discussion, it all shows up here. So if their job was to write a post and then respond 2 more times, you can see all of them here. If that student is also just making random comments on other people's posts, you will see all of those right here. If you want to, you can also click the full discussion and you can read through all of those things. So there you go, it's pretty easy. You can see that this student has an 81% based on these grades right here. And you can see your to-do list is empty because you've graded everything that was there. All right, hope that was helpful.